the Prime Minister of Jamaica. I spoke to him yesterday. You know, if you watch the Prime Minister speaking a while ago, if you watch him speaking, you realize that he's speaking with a passion. You know why? Because Andy and Tevin. Andy and Tevin go and they raise an ant's nest in Jamaica. And that ant's nest go bite Andy and Tevin and the whole National Democratic Congress Party. Andrew ready for the tail. Friends, a while ago, your chairman this afternoon introduced Brother Cox. And at one time while Cox was speaking, he sung like a comedian. Because the amount of jokes Cox was giving in between his political speech, it tells you something is wrong in this country. We wonder, what do we have in government? Seriously. They're making Cox turn like a comedian, like John Agitation or Tommy Smith or them fellas in Trinidad. That's how he made him song, and he have a choice. One of the better political speech I've heard for a long time, sisters and brothers. Give Brother Cox a round of applause. A political speech must not always be about technical things and just numbers and policy. It also has to be mixed with humor. And Brother Cox, you did an excellent job. You made Carriacou and Peter Martinique proud. You made the whole of Grenada, Carriacou and Peter Martinique proud. Thank you. But colleagues, if you sit and think carefully, you all have to realize while we're talking on a political platform, we have a serious problem facing this country. Those of you and those of us who have children and grandchildren must be worried, you know. Because these guys are making us a laughing stock in this country. We are becoming a laughing stock to the whole Caribbean. Are getting calls every day, regionally, internationally. Keith, what the hell going on in Grenada? What kind of people you all elected in government? Now how, I mean seriously, how could you go and put in on a roof in that place and you're saying come and witness the sword turning ceremony? That sound like some comedian? That don't sound like a normal person. So Cox, they're making you one. But you know, just after Beryl hit, I went up to Carriacou and I was doing a tour. And I went by the playing field. I could not believe what I saw. Them guys taking all the garbage from the hurricane and they dump it on the playing field. So I said, well, who could be in the mad mind? Could conceive something like that? So they had a young man who was they say is an employee with the minister. So I asked him, well, why? He said, Doc, don't worry that man, we go clean it up. I said, Bonche. They have endless places in Carriacou that you could have dumped this thing. Because it's garbage, it's all galvanized, nails, all kinds of stuff. You have a playing field that we spent millions of dollars to fix. Because as a sportsman, those of you know this, as a former cricketer, Windward Island cricket and so on, I believe in these things. So we spent a lot of money fixing up Carriacou. And remember when we opened the new field, we had a match against the Carriacou team, against the Prime Minister 11. So I can't believe people were sitting in Carriacou and saw this thing taking place and nothing happened. But that you have to believe something is wrong with these people's head. That can't be normal. So this is not about a government doing wrong things, it's about a government gone mad. That's the point I'm trying to make, Colleagues, brothers and sisters, this is not about a government doing wrong things, because no government could be perfect. It's about a government, wrong-sided government. Because you can't understand how some people could even conceive dumping garbage on your national playing field where sports. So when you go and open that place now, some nails might be stuck on the ground. Next thing, if people get in tetanus and all sorts of things. I mean, this is the craziest stuff. But that's a point. That is the difference. Because a lot of us go to the polls and we put an X, and we don't think enough of the reasons behind the X. Because we put a government, and I have to say we because I am a Grenadian. We put a government in office. None of them have a clue of how to manage a good sulfur shop. That's a fact. That's what we did. You want to rest the NNP, that's okay. We want to rest the NNP, that's fine, but we have to think about what we're replacing the NNP with. Because we have grandchildren, we have children that have to inherit the place. And they would not forgive us for what we have done to this country, to put this bunch of characters. If a man could say that he well set, something is wrong up here, sisters and brothers. So let me make the point, because I don't want to steal the thunder of the political leader going forward. Let me make the point. Colleagues, Brother Cox was giving you an idea of some people forget the struggles that we had to bring this country where it is today. Because the President Prime Minister came in the first speech in Parliament, he said nothing happened in Grenada since 1983. You remember that? That idiot. But it has to be an idiot. And I have no apologies for saying so. Because if you could make a statement like this, he does not know that in 1983, only 45% of the country had electricity. By the time 5 years, 97% of the country had electricity. Thanks to people like Gregory Boyne and deceased Dennis Campbell and the workers of Grenada, sisters and brothers, and a lot of committed Grenadians. The water service in the country, even in my own village, we didn't have proper water by the time we left government. Hapil and a number of communities around the country had potable water. The people in Montmorris tell me one thing they could never forget me for, and the government of the NNP, is that water that we were able to bring in Montmorris, sisters and brothers, throughout the length and breadth of the country. The new telephone system was the work of people like Gregory Boyne, Dennis Campbell, deceased today, and other committed Grenadians. So it hurts me when I hear people talking nonsense after the sacrifice of these people. Because you get something, you don't know how the hell you get it. But show respect for it. It must get me mad. He does not know the efforts that people like Boyne and others did to bring these services to this country. It was a lot of sweat, a lot of sacrifices of a lot of people in this country that people forget. Some of them have gone the great beyond. And this idiot going to come and tell us nothing happened in Grenada since 1983. Yes, but you have nothing to be in bond. He could read. And I know his father well, and his father knows better. So his father could have told him, but he might not even listen to his father. So friends, I had to be mad because it must hurt. Because this is my country and it must hurt you too. Because it's our country. And the Prime Minister, that's not Tevin speaking, you know. And Andy speaking. This is the Prime Minister of the country talking this absolute nonsense, sisters and brothers. So, it's not easy, not difficult, sisters and brothers, to recognize that within the NNP, you had a government that worked hard, made sacrifices. Over the years, the NNP in office, you could point to the many successes. But the Cox talked about some. The National Stadium that they were against, the two stadia, today they love it as I know what. And we could go on, because NNP wasn't thinking about ourselves individually. We are looking at the future of this country, where young people need to find proper facilities to use their skills. So we would not have had a Kirani James if we did not build a proper stadium and facilities and have the Mondo track where they can run as runners on an international track, sisters and brothers. It was a vision, the vision of the new National Party. And we weren't thinking about ourselves because we know one day we would have to be out of government. So it's not about us. It was not about Boeing. It's not about the rest. Whether they were voted for in government or not. They have not felt that it shall not be done. They are happy and proud that they have served their country and made sacrifice that can be part of the history of this country. That is the kind of people in the new National Party. That is why, sisters and brothers, when you compare that with the characters of the National Democratic Congress, there is no comparison. That is why every time the people say they're tired, they want change, and they give the NDC a chance, one term, and they're gone. One term, and they're gone. And I am confident, sisters and brothers, this time it's one term again, if they last a whole term. My friends, that is why earlier on when I spoke, colleagues, we may talk, we may come and shout, we might come and shout NNP here today, but if we go home and we don't get to do the work, we will be doing a disservice to this country. I hope when we heard Andrew Holness and admonish us to work hard, and he said that to get 3 terms in parliamentary system is a difficult thing because people get tired with the same persons in government. So he had to work, despite they had a tremendous record. Andrew and his team had to work extremely hard to achieve that victory. And that is why, sisters and brothers, that we must feel proud of the friends that we have. The NNP's background, the NNP's contact, they connect regionally and internationally, sisters and brothers, the rich history of the new National Party. So friends, when you see people, it's like spoiled children. When the father and the mother work very hard and they leave things for them, sometimes they blow it because they can't understand the sacrifices made by the mothers and fathers who went before them. So they get it easy. This man came into government, unlike us. In 2013, when we inherited government, there were not a cent in the treasury. I had to call Prime Minister Owen Hart of Barbados, and I repeat this a few times. And people need to know because sometimes we take things for granted. And he said, Keith, the only person that could help you, because salary is supposed to come, that's the 20th of February, 1995. Salaries are supposed to be made up. No money in the treasury to pay public servants. So Oinata said to me, Keith, call Kamala, the only person, country that would have that kind of cash to help you. And I called, and the rest is history. These guys came into government, sisters and brothers, and they met $500 million in savings, sisters and brothers. And friends, listen this. I want you to listen this piece carefully because it has to be repeated over and over and over. That $500 million was money that we work to save because of the policies of the government, ensuring that we had economic development, ensuring that we were able to build on the economy of the country. While we had 6,000 odd people on the roads through the length and breadth of this country, the poor people working, we still had money. Sisters and brothers, because we understand, while we're creating jobs, there are a lot of people out there that didn't have work yet. So we decided the bushing program, today they're giving too little contract. And they can't find salaries paying, because I get my salary too. Salaries paying, but them poor people are walking on the road, too little day contract. They won't pay them. Months they didn't pay them. Because they have no feeling for the people on the ground who are suffering. They have no feeling. Because why the people suffering here, the man flying in Ethiopia? What the hell? What the hell is this? What is this? Is a gardening? Is this a gardening contract? Where you do what you want, how you want, and nobody knows about it? Colleagues, we have to stand up to take back our country. I wonder what happened to us, like we gone dead. We gone dead. If us Keith Mitchell in office, we'll see man with water boots, with concrete, with all kind of food, jumping up all over the place. All of a sudden, we get dead. All the fire come out of Grenadians. A little boy come in the office, he don't have a clue. We afraid him. Afraid what? What we afraid? The man more afraid himself instead of worrying about him. My friends, so they made $500 million. But colleagues, listen to this carefully. These are monies that could be there to help to build on capital projects. Nothing to do with paying salaries. The inland revenue, the customs, or the Department of Government, based on the policies of our government, we are raising enough money by our action in government and the fact that we manage the economy well. There was enough money from the inland revenue, customs, and other areas, property tax and others, to pay salaries and to have more savings in government. So this money of $500 had nothing to do with paying salaries, because we made sure the economy was bubbling, sisters and brothers. And while we're doing that, I mentioned before that we have over 6,000 people on the road. The bushes up there tall like me. The state of our roads in a mess. But the Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, traveling, enjoying himself, and to hell with Grenadians. My friends. So we had enough revenue then. They tell us, in addition, that we did not have. That they were selling enough passports and they made over $1 billion. You know what $1 billion is? They said it, they said, not me, not you. They said they made over $1 billion in passport sales. Well, look, you don't have to use a computer or a calculator. Just do a little addition. My friends, Beryl came, and within 3 weeks, they got $118 million thanks to the new National Party, sisters and brothers. So forget inland revenue, customs, and all them things. That was paying salary and having savings. So add the $1 billion to the 500 million to the $118 million. So you have $1,618 million as what you call extra money. Extra money. Besides, that's why I'm doing the addition, you know. So you must repeat this because they can't answer it. The question, therefore, is, where the hell all this money gone? Colleagues, why are we not asking more questions? Why these guys could come in a meeting and boast that they pocket full? Because they take us for granted. They take us for some fools. While they're enjoying themselves, victimizing people, hurting families, destroying people, we are sitting there like little turkeys. Sisters and brothers, we have to wake up. So my friends, in addition to that, countries gave us grants and they borrowed money, more loans. So you could see the amount of money them fellas playing with. Where are the projects, sisters and brothers? For all this money, where are the projects? Someone said the only project NDC have is the corruption project. So friends, a few things I want to say before I give up the mic to your political leader. My friends, sometimes because we don't know our history, we forget certain things. We would always remember Sir Eric Matthew Gary. Many of our parents were strong supporters of the GLP. And Gary came in a time when he had to struggle against the colonial masters. And we sometimes forget the sacrifices that he made. And he was a man who never went to secondary school, but he taught himself. And he was bold enough to take on the powers to be, the colonial powers. He ended up on battleships, being arrested. Yes, over the years, he made mistakes. But we could never forget that he made sacrifices for his country. We could go on and on about what was done. We can never forget how about Augustus Blaze of Carriacou, where he was all in the vineyard and political vineyard for years. And nobody could say Blaze enjoyed the benefits of material wealth while he was in government. He was there steadfast in opposition to Eric Gary. But in a combination, they made their own sacrifices. When the revolution destroyed himself, it was Blaze who was called upon to bring some order of stability and comfort, knowing was a steady hand. And I was fortunate enough to be part of that team. So their services must always be remembered. Eric Gary, Hubbard Blaze. Whatever we can say about the revolution, we had different things to say. But you cannot say that Morris Bishop did not make sacrifice. You cannot say that he did not suffer. You could not say that he made no contribution at all. You may disagree with aspects of the revolution that caused them to destroy themselves. But you have to accept the fact that he could have chosen a more comfortable life because he came in the more upper middle class in the society. He didn't have to go into this struggle. So we at least have to respect that and understand that. So I'm saying that he did. And we could trace the history of past leaders of this party, of this country. The sacrifices that they made, sisters and brothers, they made it. So whether you can talk about Nicholas Braffett, Ben Jones, George Brizan, they made their mark in several areas of life. And your humble servant won't talk about himself. You will talk about me as you see fit. But there is no doubt that all of us made sacrifices for our country. But this idiot who says nothing happened in Grenada since 1983 came to power. He can't tell me one damn thing he did for this country to deserve. But the people had a right to choose him, and they chose him. And therefore he should have respected that right. Instead of that, he assumed himself as some savior, some lord in this country. And he's talking to all of us like little boys and girls. No, Jesus don't talk down to anybody. Autocrats, people that full of themselves and have no respect for others, they're the ones who talk down to people. You will not see members of this party. You listen to Brother Cox. In all that you hear, Cox sound like a man that's arrogant and talking down to anybody. Sister Clarice spoke. You saw a feeling of a human being. She gave up a healthy medical practice that she could have been much more comfortable materially had she stayed in her practice. You look at the lifestyle of doctors in this country and you could see why she would have been far better off. She made sacrifices. And she spoke as a humble servant of the people. Sister Amanda spoke to you tonight as a young lady with a conviction, a feeling and passion. I'm so proud when I see the youthful leadership emerging within NNP. And I said to myself, as I said to Greg, it looked like my work was well done. Because we could see emerging the future of this country. And so Gregory Boyne would never, you cannot ever say you see Gregory acting in a way that he feels he's better than anybody else. He doesn't speak a lot like me. But inside him is a man who cares so deeply about his country. Made the sacrifices. One of the most brilliant engineers. He could have been abroad making millions of dollars. And I tell you this, when Gregory and I, first time I got to know Gregory, I was teaching at the Presentation College. And I was teaching the A-level class in mathematics. And when I gave the first test, and the papers come back, and I see the work, when I look at the headline, I saw the name Gregory Boyne. It was like a perfect paper in A-level mathematics. So you have a brilliant son of the soil who could have been away making millions of dollars, not like some of these dummies. You might find I'm using strong words today, but I have a right to use those words. Compared to Gregory Boyne, they are dummies. And that is why, sisters and brothers, I say, when you look at the teams, and then we have chosen a leader who comes from the roots of the country. You cannot say that Emily Pierre is an arrogant person. She may not be perfect like me or any one of you, but you cannot say this. NNP personnel are people that care for people and want to identify with people and work with people. So friends, I sit down, I get a call from Jamaica. Some Tevin Andrews and Andy, you know, Andy in Jamaica talking. Andy say he take 5 planes to reach in Jamaica. But Andy don't know how to tell the truth. 5 planes. I think what happened to Andy? The first plane was piloted by Andy Williams. The second one, Andy Williams. The third one, Andy Williams, and then the other 2 maybe is Caribbean Airlines and so on. But when I heard this, so I said, no, I can't believe it. I don't check the record. to call to say these men and them really enter Jamaica to go and help a party. That's why one of the reasons the PNP lost the election, because Andy and Tevin went to Jamaica and caused the PNP to lose the election far worse than they would. Poor the PNP. If I was a friend, I would have called him and tell him, boy, don't touch them two fellas. That's the worst thing in Grenada politics. I can't believe myself. And you know what they did? Let me tell you what they did. Now, if I go and do something wrong, and I go in Jamaica to interfere in the politics, because you shouldn't do that. Even if my prime minister told me to go, I ain't calling his name at all. The men start up on the platform, they say, Deacon Mitchell sent us to talk. I say, oh God, well, Deacon dead now. Andrew win. I don't know how Deacon going and face Andrew. When I tell you cock song like a comedian, that's comedian stuff we see here in this country. The only problem is that it affects all our lives, otherwise we just enjoy the laugh. What's going on in this country for government? We're going on in the country for government, and Tevin, the man, just take all the private parts and put it on picture and send it all over the place. What kind of people is this? And if they think they look good, they should have. If they think they look good, so I don't know. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So friends, let me complete it before you kill yourself laughing, and I can. And you ain't giving me a chance to say serious stuff here. You know something? Just cool down a little bit. You can finish it now. You and I more laugh to get. So, I say I've given over 40-something years in the politics. Sacrifices I made. So, just listen to me. So, a settling down, right? But every minute, they put in me on the papers. And they put in me on the papers with a nice woman. And they hope that I get vexed. Put it again next week, man, and put it again. Aye, man, aye. Hey. They don't understand. That is man. What do they? Put it, George, put it again next week. I asked them to leave me alone. I am at peace with myself. I have a girlfriend who is a doctor, an economist, and is working all over the Caribbean. Government's advising them. They don't even know that. I don't have girlfriends and boyfriends. I have only one girl. Thank you all. Good evening, everybody.